We are live.
Hello, beautiful family. Right back at Kira. Hello, beautiful family.
Hey guys. Wanda, Kira, Lut, Claire, Valerie, Ichabod, Patricia.
Patricia, yeah.
Hey guys. Yeah, so for the Q&A this week and moving forward, we're doing a little bit different format. So we're going to have all of our lovely guests come on one at a time and ask their question, and then we'll do our best to answer it. No question off limits ever. Any topic open. And then yeah, we'll just keep kind of rotating that way. Um, but yeah, it should be a good way to keep this going and hopefully get to a few more questions than we normally do. But yeah, it should be good. But I think Charlie had a little bit of an introduction to go over first. So Charlie, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, just a couple of things here. There were a whole bunch of questions over the last, I'd say, month from Freak Sense family members that are asking about or just more information about gene decode. And Colleen and I really don't don't have a lot. Just once again, just know that the Q team's not talking to anyone for obvious reasons. So, and we were scheduled. Gene Decode had reached out to us, and we were scheduled to do a show with Gene way back, maybe a year ago now. Way, way back. It all seems so long ago. But at the last second he postponed it for something, and then when he got back to us, he said he just wasn't interested in doing the show anymore due to our stance on now what was it? It was our stance on Jews um, and aliens, I believe, and so I'll leave it at that. You can take from it what you will. But again, anyone who's pushing a narrative that that the state of Israel and that the Holocaust and Jews and all of that narrative is either a victim or they're selling you something. And on the second side, of course, aliens. Hey, it's okay. And aliens coming to save us all is even if that were real, that's not what we want. So you can fill in the rest, but that's what I'll just say about Gene Decode. And note that we've never done a show with Gene Decode. So there
Yeah,
you go.
he likes
Just
to he likes to push the whole Vril alien thing that people can be hijacked by aliens that dig into your eyeballs, and then he does ridicule the flat Earth concept pretty regularly, and so it's one of those things where it's hard to imagine someone like that if he truly is a researcher as he claims to be. It's hard to imagine that he hasn't come across the truth and he's decided to say otherwise. But regardless, what I always tell people is, either their intentions are off or their discernment is off, and either way, it's not worth a follow. It's not worth looking into. We've got to be really holding a high standard to people in the truth community that they're saying the whole truth. It's not a you can't just have it. It can't be half baked. It can't just be part of it. And whether they know they're pushing lies or not, it's still a lie.
Yeah,
Can't do that.
and remember the incredible thing about all of this is that the Q team has never really stepped out ever and called out anyone on anything. Reason being, of course, is that they're trying to show you and allow the wholeness of the debacle that we now live in, because what they're going to be proposing for us is an entirely new reality. I mean, completely new reality. As Colleen and I shared a long while ago now, that's why they allowed the schools to be closed. That's why with the COVID thing, they allowed people to not have to go to work. The whole idea was to try and reacclimate the average individual to looking at themselves and looking at their families, and looking to start taking care of yourself once again, and stop relying on some state agency to do it for you. So educating your children at home, and just beginning to love and interact with your family once again, instead of the same routine, which is kids play with video games and you come home and have dinner and then zone out in front of the TV or something. So a lot of dogs barking. Aaron's here, Eugene's here, V's here. So it's very lovely. Would have been lovely to have Justin here, but it's still nice to have Justin in the River Rock home.
In my box.
In the box. So, and hey, there's so many incredible comments from everyone on the Revelation show from yesterday, and so thank you. Justin, Marie, and I really, really enjoy doing Decoding the Bible. It's an honor. It's an absolute honor. That's all I can sort of really say to it, and to share it with Justin and Marie, it makes it so very, very special. So thank you for all your beautiful comments, and remember, with the Bible, books have been taken out. Very little has ever been hacked, because they don't fully understand it. When they try, they make a huge mess. So the biggest books that have ever been taken, that have always been taken out of the Bible, like Mary Magdalene's Gospel, is are relating to the sacred feminine, and all the teachings from Jeheshua, Jesus Christ, on our sacred mother, who is to be treated exactly like our sacred father, with such reverence. And to get him, you have to go and get her. So when people ask, what is doing this work, and what it's connecting to Mother Earth, it is to become like her. Because remember, the mother, she is caring compassion, and she is grace. When you hear the word grace, and to receive God's grace, you must embrace the mother, for she is grace. And if you live by those adages of caring and compassion and grace, you're pretty one lit up individual. So those are really, really wonderful things. And then you rise, because she rises. So when you exalt the mother, she rises and she takes you with her. And then that's the true family. So the heart and soul of what the Bible has taught us is, so much of it is that we have to go get her, and we have to become whole. We have to make our family whole again, and it's been torn asunder by these demons. So wanted to share that with everyone. And if it's okay, Justin, I just have a quick parable. This is from the ancient East, that's made its way into traditions of the West, but it goes something like this, and it's to teach us something. So there's a father and who had a son, and he loved his son more than the son could possibly understand. And the son was experiencing a graduation, and it was a graduation from an exalted school. So let's say like a college or a university. And the father, because he was a very righteous man, was very abundant in the riches of this earth. So for his special graduation, the son said to the father, "What are you going to get me with all of your shekels? What are you going to get me for my graduation?" And so the father didn't say anything, played coy, and waited. And then upon the big day, he handed him a Bible. And the son said to the father, looked at him precariously and said to the father, "You have to be joking, right?" And the father said, "No, everything that you need to become as abundant in life as I have is through this book." And the son said, "So you're not joking?" And the father said, "Of course I am not." So the son threw the Bible down at the feet of the father and said, "I cannot believe that with all of your riches, you would not buy me a Maserati. I want, I want a very special car, a very fast and special car for my very special day. And if I don't get it, I'm leaving." So the next day, the son came back to the father and said, "So this is our D-Day, and what do you have for me?" And the father handed him back the Bible and said, "I love you." And the son took the Bible, threw it back down on the floor, and stormed out of the house, and proceeded not to see the father again for a number of years. And during that time, the father loved the son so much, he grew in his grief over losing this very special relationship with the son. And so he retreated from this world. The father left this world. And one day the son came to see his mother, and he asked the mother, "Where is my father?" And the mother said, "I'm sorry, my son, he is gone, for the grief over not having you in his life was such that he decided to leave this world." And the son collapsed on the ground in tears and in pain and in suffering, for he saw the result of the choices that he made and the actions that he took, and he was overcome with grief. And while he was on the floor, he saw that there was a book on the floor turned upside down, and he picked it up, and it was the very same Bible that his father had attempted to give him as his graduation present all those many years ago. And he leafed through the Bible, and it opened to a page, and there was an envelope. And he opened the envelope, and inside of the envelope there was a receipt from a motor car company saying that a brand new Maserati was paid in full and ready for pickup at any time. And so the parable of this story is that God's gifts come in many shapes, sizes, and forms, and as he is the creator, he has the divine wisdom to give his gifts in any way he sees fit. When we attempt to collapse the wave function, when we attempt to minimize the infinite genius and brilliance of God and God's gifts, we turn down the miracle in every single moment and every single day. And so many in our family are awakening, and it's so beautiful to hear, and it's so beautiful to see. So many of you awakening daily to miracles in your life. And what I wanted to share with you is that they've always been there. It's only ever a matter of perspective. And perspective is all about elevation. It's whether you rise or descend. And when we choose to rise, we gain in perspective because we gain in elevation, because we are lighter than air. And with the light of God, we begin to see. And this is how we raise the chrismal. This is how we develop the crown. This is how we gain the 360 degrees of true vision, real vision. And this is how we gain a connection with our Father, which is not to attempt to recreate the wheel which was gifted to us, but accept what is, to have the wisdom to accept what has been freely given to us, and then excel at these gifts that we've been given. Instead of trying to do it my way, our way, we simply take the load off of. But Justin's back. So we take the load off of Fanny and we put the load right on God. And then the miracles, which have always been there, suddenly come back. And isn't it interesting how people comment all the time that for 2,000 years we haven't seen any miracles in this world. There are all these miracles in the Bible, and now there's no more miracles. So I think the Bible is a lie. Or have you been looking through 1 degree instead of 360 degrees? And to get the crown, you have to rise, and it's all a matter of perspective. So I wanted to share that with you. And with that, we go back to Justin.
Yeah, well, I missed quite a bit of the parable. So not quite sure what to add there. I only got where the son was upset about not getting the Maserati, and then lost it from there.
And the way it actually turned out is that the second time the father gave him the Bible, inside the Bible was a slip from an automotive company that said a brand new Maserati had been paid for and was waiting for him to receive, but he never received the gift because it didn't come in the shape, the size, and the form that he wanted or that he expected. And so the parable is that we never collapse the wave function on God and demand that our Savior, that our salvation, that the gifts from God come in this shape, size, and form, which is one of the evils of The Secret, Oprah's Secret, and the way that they teach it is once again attempting to collapse through the ego, the eternal unending brilliance of the Creator. So we accept these gifts that are freely given to us, and we roll with them. We excel with these gifts. So don't look a
Yeah,
good horse in the mouth.
right. And we trust that it's all going to work out. It's if you are projecting your mistrust in God on situations and expecting things to turn out a certain way, you're always going to be disappointed. And and it's interesting because it's all so balanced in the sense that the more that we project these expectations out there and live in our left brain, the less gifts we receive, and the more our sort of disappointments come true. We manifest that reality as well. Just like him not receiving the car, he thought that he wasn't going to receive the car, and therefore he didn't, because he wasn't in that space of trust and acceptance and temperance.
Very good. Very good. Temperance is a very key virtue that very few people seem to fully understand, but it is one of the key virtues. And the highest form of the allegory, of course, is that as I was telling it, I spoke of Father, and I spoke of Father leaving this world, and a lot of people read into the storyline that this is a story about a household, and this is a physical setting, and that the father committed suicide or something. But in reality, it's a parable for how God enters in with us, and we never seem to hear the call. We never seem to answer the call, but God presents himself, and because it's never in a form that we want, we depart out of the chamber within, and then God departs of this world, for he is not of this world. This world is gifted to us to be able to go on a journey, to be able to rediscover, always R-E, to rediscover, so that we can reunite with our real family. And in the fallout of singularity, remember, the genius and the beauty and the infinite love and compassion of God is that we gain the mother. And we have to stop abusing the mother now. And we have to celebrate the mother now, for she gives life now. And all of her creations upon this physical plane are of her heart. She is the heart chakra. She is the middle way. And when we attempt to have life by eating death, by murdering her creation, you are not going to raise the mother within you, for your temple is astray, is askew. You're not in line, you're not in order, and you will not rise until you please the mother, and that is through the vibration of love. And you don't get life through death. It's common sense. All of you know that. It's pure common sense. And it's been taken from us and trodden down into the mud.
Yep. All right. Should we start inviting our lovely guests in here?
Let's go. We love it. I'm not going to stray off the path. This is just your questions, and I'll answer your questions. We want to get as many people as possible. Love you.
Okay. All right. We're going to start with Valerie. Here you go, Valerie.
Oh my gosh, we love Valerie so much.
So much.
So much. She is the heart and soul of PEI.
We can't hear you, Valerie. I'm not sure if your mic is connected. Can't hear you. So if you look at the mute button, and you click that little arrow next to it. Wait, say something now. Gave a little. Now you're frozen.
Okay.
Oh wait, now I think we can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Settings. No.
Valerie, we can hear you. Can you hear us? Valerie, we can hear you. All right. Well, there she goes. Maybe she'll try joining back. So we'll go
I hope
over.
so.
Yeah, me too. We'll go over to Sabina. Hey, Sabina.
Hi, beautiful Sabina.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you great.
Okay. Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Charlie. Hello, Justin.
All right.
I'm so
Hi.
excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
So we'll go
I hope
over.
so.
So if
Yeah,
you
me
could
too.
I'm
just
not sure what
mute,
happened to Valerie.
if you could just mute your YouTube video that's playing, we're getting a little bit of
Right.
feedback. Hey, Sabina.
Hi, beautiful Sabina.
Hello. Okay, let me just mute.
Can you hear?
Okay.
Perfect.
All good now?
Yeah.
Yes. Hello, Charlie. Hello, Justin. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Of course.
Yes. Do you want to go straight into the question, or
Straight
you want me
into
to
it.
introduce myself? Straight
Straight-
into the question. Okay.
Straight into the question.
Straight into. So my question is really around schooling, or rather unschooling and unlearning, and then rewiring and recalibrating, and especially when it comes to children. So I've been listening to you since July, and everything you shared resonates so deeply. And I really get that, when it resonates on a cellular level, that's the truth. So I'm getting this. And I've been trying to share this with my son, who's 13, and he's very much influenced by his dad, who comes from the medical system, both parents doctors. He really believes in the Western medicine system. Also, he works in Hollywood, so heavy programming there. And he goes there 3 times a month. When he comes back, he's a different child. So I'm in the process getting some truth into him and doing it gently, but he's very resistant. He just says, I don't want to hear that. He gets books from his dad's, and he picked up stuff along the way. And this is really, it's this fine line, because one parent shares this truth, the other parent shares a completely different, I don't know what to call it, but from the matrix point of view. So this child is in between, and there's this, and I'm not the only one. I know many other parents that go through the same thing when a child has two different perspectives by completely different parents. So I know you mentioned you're writing a book. And are you ever planning to write anything about children, or start, maybe collaborating with others to bring schooling for children, like real schooling, like that is really about, letting the child find the truth, but feeding them, pure information. So it's really, I'd like to get your feedback really on how to most effectively kind of use this process of unlearning the old and introducing the new that comes from a pure source.
Okay, thank you so much for that. That's an amazing question and a very, very important question, and it relates to all of us, virtually all of us, and it's so important. I would first start by saying this again. This is why, if there's ever a better example for practicing our sacred sex, to be taught our sacred sex and to practice sacred sex and not spill your seed, this is it. You have been led into, we've all been led into a very narrowing trap that we exist to have children. And that's what this is all about. And then we create families who hate each other, and parents separate. And then, like you said, it's a warfare between one side and the other with these beautiful children. And then we wonder why they suffer from schisms in their life, because they're coming from multiple worlds, multiple perspectives, and then they're having multiple personalities. And so I tease this, but it's very true. You only really truly start coming into age at about 333, and so around then you can start dating, and maybe around 400 years of age you can start to consider taking a mate, and then perhaps at 600 or 700 years of age you can consider having children. This whole process of rushing into marriage and then rushing into this incredibly sophisticated, everybody knows that. Nobody wants to really admit it, that sex is a very, very, very special, graceful, emotional, deeply resounding connection between partners. But we just always cheapen it and we lessen it, and then we rush into, because we don't know any better, we rush into having children. And then at very young ages, when you know nothing about yourself or your partner, you then that you know even less about, and then you set about to raise your child, in which is basically don't create problems, because my life is one giant problem, and if you start creating problems, then you're out of here, kid. You're out of here. A lot of parents say that to kids when they start to have a voice for themselves and start to act in their own authentic way, and parents will go, you got to get out of this house. I want you out of this house. And it's like, so let me get this straight. I was okay when I capitulated to you for 16 years. But the moment that I started thinking to myself and doing things my way, I'm out of here. Well, then that was great. Thanks very much. I learned a powerful lesson. But very few people have the skin thick enough to be able to process that kind of message from that experience. So I just want to start by saying that we need to rethink this whole process about what family is and relationships and getting married and having children, because this is sacred stuff and it's been trampled into the ground. And what we're doing to ourselves, what we're doing to our partners, what we've done to the institution of marriage, and what we're doing to parenting is horrific, because we're not ready for any of this. We're not taught any truth, and we're not ready for any of this, and it turns into kind of a disaster. So to answer the second part of your question, then how do we start to undo all of this catastrophe that is coming from being rushed into relationships and sex and then children? And you hand it back to the one who can heal the quickest, which is the mother, and that is the Mother Earth. So, and the wisdom of the physical mother knows that in her womb, in the heart and soul of her existence, she knows that Mother Earth is the way. And one of the things, the first thing that President John F. Kennedy did in his presidency is he announced what a lot of people thought of as sort of a cute move, but it was so much more than that, and that was the Peace Corps. And so what he offered was for Americans of any age, but in particular the ones that rallied to it were the younger ones. And basically what President Kennedy said is don't ask the rest of the world to help you. You help the rest of the world. And that's what the heart and soul of the Peace Corps movement was. And these kids were not paid for doing this, but they were given the airfare and they were given the funds necessary to be able to go to the rest of the world and begin to help at a hand to mouth level in various communities around the world. And it was one of the most incredible things. And in 3 very short years, or really only about two and a quarter years that the Peace Corps is in existence, it was changing the world, and it was bringing the world closer together. And it was one of the things that was most talked about Kennedy's presidency, and it just gets ignored and it's lost in all of the shuffle. And it's also one of the first things that new President Lyndon Johnson got rid of was the Peace Corps, because we can't have that. And so one of the things I can assure you, guarantee you, is that monies are going to be made available. Opportunities are going to be made for all of us, regardless of your age, to be able to serve all of mankind, to serve what I would call now humanity, and help them to rise again to the status of mankind. So we're going to help those fallen beings, and we're going to help them through kindness. And we're going to show them the way through kindness. And then the way is shown to us because we live the way, which is kindness. So the quickest way to heal all of this fracturing of the minds of our children, because I say one thing and they say another and split, is let the mother do the talking. Let the Mother Earth do the talking for you. And allow your children to embrace the mother. And in terms of writing that book, I absolutely will. And we'll do more shows once there's a platform. Once Freak Sense TV has become a reality, and that's going to be our 24-hour-a-day Truth-O-Vision, an absolute TV network, and that will be completely free. And once that is a reality, I'll be doing a lot of shows about relationships, about sacred sex, about raising kids, about undoing the problems of these worlds, and about what a real educational system will look like. And basically what it is take no thought for your life and allow your children to roam free within the Mother Nature, and let them learn in service to the mother and nature. And in doing so, they will learn permaculture. And then when they master it, and if it's a passion of theirs, they can take permaculture anywhere in the world, and that's how you farm. Because the way you keep your seeds protected, and the way that you ensure that not one species eats all of your crops or anything is destroyed, is you allow the fullness of nature to play itself out. And you realize that every insect plays a valuable role, and that Gimini, and that the wholeness of nature is this incredibly balanced system which protects itself. So this is the way. Sorry about that. Colleen just came into the room. And so that is my best advice for now. In the interim time, it's taking for nothing more than just start by taking your son, no matter what the age is, together, you and your children together, and take them out into nature with no agenda. we're not going out here today to be able to collect these samples, and I want 5 of them, and 2 have to be this color, and I want 1 of each sex, and none of that. No rules, no regulations, and together go out in nature and just start by observing. And your children will be blown away, because when we start to observe the mother, and we start to observe nature, especially at a microscopic level, there's no going back. There's no going back to the other way, because it just disintegrates the lies of this suit and tie business in an office, chasing a promotion and having material goods and material things, because the mother shows you what material truly is, and that is the giving and the tending and caring to life. And that's what we're all going to become. We are the shepherds of this earth, and ultimately, as we graduate the ultimate school and wear the 360-degree crown of wisdom, where we see from 360 degrees, we'll all become shepherds, and we'll all exist. Our job will become to be kind. And that's how we help one another. Insurance, why would anyone need insurance? If something happened to you, I will rush and help you for as long as it takes to get you back on your feet again, because it's the right thing to do. And if it ever happened to me, that would be wonderful if somebody came and did that for me. We're going to do the right thing, Sabina, and you are the right thing. You are doing the right thing, and you intuitively will know what to do. And that is the quickest way, by the way, to defang, to declaw, and to detoxify your children from all the lies, is to put them with the mother, because she's the truth. Everything about Mother Nature is purely the truth. So let me stop there, and let's have you absorb that and then respond, okay? Because that was a great question.
We actually, thank you so much, but we actually do the nature. We actually do. We live in the forest, at the river. So I take him every day. And the issue is really only because his father lives in Manhattan. So every time he goes in there, he comes back, he's actually a different child. His face changes, his behavior, he's full with sugar and meat and dairy. And I have to actually spend the whole day detoxifying. So I get him into the mother barefoot on the ground. Even he has all the resistance. But it's amazing how fast the brainwashing kicks in. Just 2 days in Manhattan, a different child comes back than the one I drop off.
Wow. And Sabina, if I can quickly interject, let me say this. I think moving forward on Freak Sense TV, this is going to be wonderful for Josh and I, or Josh and yourself, but with you to do a show from your perspective, because this is valuable, powerfully important information that you're going to be able to share and to show, because what you're describing in Manhattan, I mean, it's just, you couldn't make it up any better. It's perfect, because that's the ego and that's the left brain. And although it's only a dime, wow, does the dime ever roll fast? And just in 3 days of being in that world, everything changes so quickly and so fast. Whereas the mother in nature, there's no such thing as time. So it's a process. And the process is the ultimate heal and is the ultimate answer, but it does take time. And every time you go into the physical world, especially Manhattan, everything is moving so fast. And that's what the foods are designed to do, move through you so fast and to leave you desolate.
Yes, yeah. Everything you shared in Josh, I've been practicing. I've actually been on this journey for 25 years, detoxing, water fasting, juicing. So I've been doing this for a very long time. But when I came across you and Josh, I realized how little I really know. And I'm just starting. So I'm just going deeper and just more. And I guess switched from I've been raw for 25 years almost. And I've switched from 80% vegetable and 20% fruit to 90% fruit and 20% vegetable. And I'm next level vitality. My body is so flexible, like I'm in my 20s. It's amazing. Well, and I have just so much energy. My son comes back from the city, all day fruit. So just He'll eat fruit all day. He goes barefoot in the ground and he jumps on the trampoline, rebounding, which is also detoxifying. Yeah. So I just use all the tools that are available. But I want to thank you. Everything, even the numerology. Sorry, the numerology and the symbolism. I think since I listened to you, all the pieces of the puzzle are coming together, and I finally see the whole picture. And for the first time, I had this knowing that what I've been doing is the right way. And before, sometimes I had doubts because people told me you're too extreme and you're too far out there. And then I meet you and Josh, even more out there than me. So I'm going to the next level, and I really have this deep knowing I'm on the right path. What I'm doing works, and I see it, every time I do it with my son. But he's my greatest trigger. So I'm learning, just by holding him and helping him shift through that process.
Yeah, and I just want to add that, we need to be looking at really viewing children as no different than anyone else, speaking to them holistically, speaking to them fully, and not talking down to them in any sort of way, because it's like any of us, the truth resonates. Yeah. But it's ultimately a free will choice of theirs to accept that truth or not. And so if we continue to speak the truth and shine, they have the opportunity to find it and be drawn towards it. But just like anyone else that we encounter and we try and force them to hear things or convince them of stuff, if they're not ready for it or they don't want to, there's not much more we can do about that. And so we just kind of have to take that same approach, even though especially when it's our children. And I can't speak from experience of not having any, but I know that there's a much closer desire to want to ensure that they receive that information and they hear it. But the same universal truth applies. We can't force anyone to do anything. And so all we can do is just shine as that lighthouse and embody that truth and trust that people will come to it, including our children, in their own time, whether it's when they're here now or whether it's years down the road or however that looks. But just trusting that by doing the right thing, by embodying that truth, we're doing the best that we can.
Beautiful, beautiful, Justin, and absolute truth. And again, just, I think when people are talking about Charlie and Josh, I think, we should be including Justin into the conversation as well, and now Casey, because they're doing the work as well. And Justin is all in on this process as Sabina. And so we should be including Sabina in this process as well, because the people that are qualified to speak to these things are not someone who went to a university and got a degree and ate cheeseburgers the whole way through, and then they're writing a book to you on nutrition while they're drinking a Coke and eating a cheeseburger. That's a fraud. That's a fake. And we're done with that world. What we require is authenticity. And children can spot a fake in no time flat. Just the problem is when they're surrounded by nothing but fakery, then they fall for it and they become fake themselves, which is the greatest tragedy of all. But Sabina, you are authentic, and just look at Sabina's smile and look at her eyes. Look at the light in Sabina's eyes. Look at her skin. We're looking through computer screens, but look at her skin. Look at her smile. Look at her hair. Hair is, again, just such a key thing. And then you go back through all of these ancient cultures, because that's where Colleen and I gained our wisdom from, is searching and seeking all these ancient cultures. And they all talked about not ever cutting the hair. And that the hair, by the way, a fact that people don't seem to know or don't seem to care to know, but your hair actually grows to an optimum level, and then everybody's hair grows to a different length. So it's a miraculous thing. There's a lot of people that just think your hair will continue to grow and grow in length until your cousin It from the Addams family. You're covered head to toe in hair. And if that is how God created you, then that's what will occur. But it actually doesn't work that way. You have an optimum length of hair, and you have to allow that to naturally occur. And that is the optimization of this, the crown within the physical plane, because every single strand of your hair is like an antennae. It's an antenna, and they're picking up the frequencies. And these are frequencies of predominantly the mother, but the father as well. So why do you think society teaches?
Sorry.
So why do you think society pushes, haircuts and hairstyling and all this stuff and all these chemicals and all of this heat attached to, and your hair has to look a certain way, and so you have to have these hair rollers and hair curlers and stuff, and it's all damaging. It's all damaging your hair, because your hair is also a frequency, and it's sacred, and just everything about you is sacred. And you can just see that with Sabina, and you see that with Justin as well. So as we go through this process, I would encourage everyone, let's add Sabina, and let's for sure add Justin, and let's for sure add Casey to this list as well. Because when you do the work, you're the expert. Don't let anyone ever tell you different. I went through university with a bachelor degree in economics and then a master's in business administration, and all I can tell you is that it's bullshit. It's complete bullshit, and I'm qualified to say that because I went through and I got straight A's in bullshit, and it's complete bullshit. So our entire economic system is a fraud as well. So we've been lied to about everything everywhere. And so what we need to do is stop regulating ourselves and regulating others, and deregulate, because that's what we want is the RE, not the DE. So let's embrace this. So what I would just simply say with your son is that, yes, right now it's a war zone, it's a battle. And but in the long run, your way will absolutely prevail, because it's the right way, and it's 90%. And the dime can only go so far, and it can only go so fast before the wheels come off, and they will always come off, because the ego hates itself, and it will always self-destruct. So Manhattan has an appeal, and what I would just also say to you, Sabina, is that your patience and understanding through this with your son is beautiful, because patience is a virtue, and it's required. And we have been in a war zone, and it's very unfair for our children, but you're handling things the right way, and I'm very proud. And thank you so much for everything that you're doing, Sabina. You're a warrior of God, and you're a hero, heroine in my book. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Charlie. I really appreciate all your wisdom, and I love the part with the hair. I didn't know that, so thank you for another golden nugget. And I know there are other people waiting, so I want to just thank you, Justin, for hosting. Lots of love to both of you. Sending so much love.
If I could hug you, I would.
Love you, Sabina.
My heart. Bye.
Bye.
Isn't that so special, Justin?
So special. Truly so special.
Lots of love.
All right, Valerie.
So much love.
It sounds like we can hear you. So you just want to mute your YouTube video.
My heart. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Beautiful.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Hello, beautiful brothers.
Hi.
So grateful to be here. I know the energy was coming through so powerfully. At first, I think I blew up my system multifacetedly. Charlie, I have something that's very deep in my heart and meaningful in my soul, and that is grace. And you teach it through the Bible, and I've talked to many people about this. And Amazing Grace, the traditional history I wanted to ask you about, of how that came about with John Newton, and his challenges with slavery and how he came about all that, and creating Amazing Grace. And I have used this in my nannying with children, teaching children, with being and adults alike, energy medicine practitioner fully since 1988. And it's just everything I do, and it's always divine guided, always divinely guided. No matter, I have multi modalities, certifications, and so on, but Charlie, everything always comes. I have to always pull back. Those papers have always meant nothing to me. People have told me, listen, you want to be a writer, you want to be a practitioner, you have to do the smoothing. No, I'm not a smoozer, or however you pronounce it. I can't even pronounce it right. But it's like, I've always got to pull back. The most that I've ever been really truly connected is when I pull back, go within, and I feel the guidance. I hear it. I know it. It's true gnosis from God, from Christ, from Jesus. And I've never been able to speak it until I met you and Colleen, like here, like last year, a year and a half ago. And I was gradually coming up to it, but it didn't really resonate, the Bible and all that, with me. I taught Sunday school. I taught it my way. I got in a lot of trouble for it. And but even singing Amazing Grace, writing the song, how the magnetism, Mother Mary, how it comes through. I've sung it, I've hummed it, I've spoken it to animals when I'm doing healing with animals, with children, babies, and adults. And even I've gotten them to sing in their sessions, in their healing sessions. And I actually wanted to ask you about perhaps one time, maybe we could do a whole show on grace and Amazing Grace and how it applies with the Bible and life and the etymology and the music, the words and the history, and how that applies to today and going into our Garden of Eden lifestyle and heaven here that we're creating together. So that's in a nutshell. And actually, I've talked to Savon about it, yeah, we're back and forth with all of this, and I know I get really woo-woo with the energy and so on, and a lot of times people really, I think sometimes I blow people out of the water because, and I do pull back, and now I can't. I have to share what I have to share what I have to share. And yeah, you gotta keep going, and I've been hit by divine 2x4s so many times. It's not funny, and it's very funny. Believe me, I can share a lot of stories. So, and still falter, but still get back up, because I know that is always, but I've got to keep the faith. I cannot not, even when I watch myself do things that I don't know why am I doing that? I watch myself, Charlie, and it's who's got the control here? I thought I did, but I watched myself do it, and it's like, when I get to like a vortex and I get through that membrane, I just keep dusting myself off. And that's what I always teach others, always, no matter. I just have to cannot give up, and I can't allow other people to give up, unless, of course, they just, you can't force someone, right?
Right. There's always free will.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Valerie. Thank you for sharing.
So
we do want to, we're doing it. No, did you have a question that you wanted to ask? Yeah,
well,
just wanted.
that is it, like the history
Okay.
and of the Amazing Grace, how it applies in the Bible, with Mary magnetism. Charlie, you speak on it, and I wondered about, actually us, are you all like together creating a show on the etymology, and because really this can be an actual show in and of itself. right? And how that applies with the healing energy. I mean, it balances when you sing Amazing Grace. I mean, everybody wants it. Like everybody does their own take and cover on it, from Metallica bands to rock and roll to country to blues, soul, everything, everybody, and even in the shower by ourselves, and it balances the chakras, not just within the body, it activates them and it connects us to the ultimate all that is, right? So so I would, that's my wondering about that and the healing that is within that and applying, because it really is, I've experienced it, people that I share with and do the healing energies with and sessions, they feel it. So yeah, that's, I know that's a lot. You can fine tune it for me. Perhaps I can tend to ramble on. So thank you, Justin, for swooning me back in.
Of course, Valerie, I love you so much. And just to quickly touch on it before Charlie jumps in, so that's kind of the idea with the Freak Sense TV that we're going to be releasing, as we want to get as many beautiful souls on who have these beautiful ideas on shows to really dig in and put it out there. So if you really want to keep at it and see if you can, just keep that idea fresh and keep whatever you want to put in with that. I think that's a fantastically beautiful idea of an episode or even a whole series, depending on how you wanted to do that. But we want this to be Truth Vision 24/7. So there's going to be lots of space for people to be doing shows all the time on a whole host of topics. So just wanted to say that real quickly.
Beautiful. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, brother. I love you so much.
I love you too.
Yeah, you're so welcome, Valerie. And Justin so beautifully said. That's exactly right. And there, a few causes better than this full understanding of Amazing Grace. And it's very interesting that Valerie brought that up, because everybody sings it. They do. It's one of the most performed songs live in the history of all music. It doesn't make it onto a lot of recordings because the satanic music industry doesn't put it on, doesn't allow it on their satanic record labels. But a lot of rock bands have sung a cappella Amazing Grace live, because it resonates with everyone. It's a song that cuts through the fog and brings the light. And remember that the thing very important to remember, most people don't know this about Amazing Grace, but it's a call response. So the title of Amazing Grace is Amazing Grace, My Chains Are Gone. And that's the call and that's the response. So when you invite the Amazing Grace within you and you embody it by living it, then your chains are gone. And you are born, because you are born free. Remember, we're Libra. From Leo through the Virgo, the mother, we are Libra. We are the free child. And it is the Amazing Grace. So what's interesting is Grace is the mother and Amazing is the father. And you look at the etymology of these words and the hieroglyphics of the letters, and it's stunning. So Amazing is A, of course. It would start with the father, and then it's Ma, which is the mother, in Z, which is the ultimate form of balance, peace, and harmony. And that's what Amazing Grace is as a hymn. It's stunning harmony. It's stunning balance, and that's why it affects people so much. And of course it's amazing because it's in God. It's by going within God. So it's Amazing Grace. And then the grace, of course, is God. G is God intervention, and it's the G race, the God race, but there's no time. So, and it's eternal. So there's no time, nobody keeps score, and it's an eternal. So it's an entirely 180-degree upside down rat race to the rat race that we've been told to live. And when you look at the etymology, G, and then it's God intervention through the Ra, which is the ray of the sunshine, and that is in the child, the Christed child, and that's rising up through the ether, E for ether. So every way you look at Amazing Grace, it is divine and it is absolutely beautiful. And remember, it is a call response. My God, my Savior has ransomed me. And like a flood, his mercy reigns. Unending love, oh, amazing grace. So it's a call response, and that's why it's so powerful, because it's you reaching out to your true mother and father. And I cannot stress this enough, everyone, that why you think you're here is completely different from why you're really here and what you're supposed to really do. And what you're really supposed to do is connect to your one true father and your one true mother. And to that end, we are all pure brothers and sisters. And when you look at the races of this world and why certain people have different color skin or different types of hair and the smoothness or the coarsity, it all simply relates to the proximity to the sun. That's the only difference that exists. The rest of it is that we are pure brothers and sisters with one another. When we fight one another, we are fighting ourselves, because we are all from the same one father and the same one mother. And a great parent will teach you that. A great pair of wrens will teach you that they're here to help guide you to your one true father and your one true mother. So it's a song that does that, and it's amazing.
Thank you, Charlie. This is, it truly is, to keep us in the inquiry, this is reclaiming our one true self, yes? Like our constant journey, our consistent journey of grace, and it's ongoing. And truly, I know I don't know. And it's what I learn after I know it all that truly counts. And God's always telling me more and more. No, you don't know yet. No, it's never handled. And yet it is when you connect with me, right? So, and it's still a constant. It's always. And Charlie, just another thing, I've been talking, this is something, a calling that's been coming to me, which it includes within this healing healers and healers healing. So creating that, I've actually shared, the first time I shared was on Telegram after our 72 breaths that Wanda had done. And I shared with Amanda and Amanda McLeod and Wanda and Shar. And they're just, and to include everybody within this, it will take on a life of its own. And really, us healers, we are wounded healers. Even the children are healers, the animal are healers.
Absolutely.
And we've been wounded, because no matter how much we try to create and we keep picking ourselves back up, we still have been operating with our commitment, and even knowing that we're in this so-called matrix, but yet not knowing fully what it is. We're still trying to create, but within this limited box that the cabal, the deep state, all this satanic stuff has been for years and years and thousands of years. So we all need this. We need to help each other. And this has been a calling for me. And I finally spoke it that night out loud, and it's becoming, we're just coming together, and to have everybody, it will take on a life of its own, and we can help each other create, whether it's programs, protocols, it'll all be divine guided, and share with people to help. Because some people say, oh, it's a story. Don't be living on your story. But yet some people need to share their story. They don't want to live on it, but they've been suppressed from sharing it. And that's where the grace comes in, and the amazing grace in healing. That's the journey. We have to allow ourselves and others to share. And thank you so much for this today, because I have been not fully sharing, and to the point where, those 2x4s get pretty stingy after a while. So I'm so grateful for this. And now I can't shut up. So thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Justin.
Love you, Valerie. Looking forward to your channel on Freak Sense TV. Looking forward to all those magical magical shows to put together. It sounds absolutely beautiful. Thank you so
I
much.
love you
Thank you
so
for who you
much.
are.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Charlie. Also, you and Colleen, you're my light. I'm telling you, I'm so moved. And, you know, I know you're human too, and, you know, all this stuff, but you know what? You have called me forth, and I'm so grateful. So grateful. And I still have much to do. I'm still so very humble, and I'm still like, I need to be humbled. And I still have a lot to work on, and I have lots of mistakes that I have to work on, like right now, even immediately. And I just so look forward to, you know, like I said, we just got to keep getting back up and facing that, and moving forward no matter what, because we have a difference to make. We do make a difference, no matter if we don't feel worthy or not. We are worthy. So thank you so much. And thank you to this beautiful, beautiful family. I love everyone in the family so much. And I'm so looking forward to whenever divine timing is, whenever that is, to be in Mayacatlan in Mexico with all of you in our community to help and create and assist and share and be the whisperer with all you whisperers of all beings. Thank you so much.
Love you, Valerie. Thank you.
What I would simply add to all of that is another thing about hair, since we brought it up, is that your hair is a magnetic field. If you bring it to life, if you're of the living, because most people have dead hair follicles and all they do is fall out. But if your hair is alive, it's a magnetic field. And one of the things that the ancients did as a first source of healing is when an injury was occurred, they would wrap their hair around the injured spot, because it created a frequency, it creates a field and a protective healing field. Magnetism is a scalar wave, which is eternal, so everything is life, and so it gets the healing moving right away. So it is almost like creating a sarcophagus of life with this resonance field around an injured area. So there's so many things I have not even talked about, because we're focusing on the plan and helping everyone through hope, which is so very important because that's life. But there's an infinite number of things to talk about, Valerie, and to teach, and then what we want is for everyone to run with it and become masters. And if it resonates with you, and then you become the teacher of it, because I don't need to be the teacher of everything and all things. Like everyone else, I would love to focus on my highest passions as well. So but there's an infinite amount of truth in God's creation. Remember, there has to be, because you're an eternal child, and God promises you will never ever learn it all. You'll never be bored. You'll never run out of things to do or to know. It is the most miraculous creation. That doesn't come from an impersonal universe that just, randomly exploded into existence. This is divine, and it's conceptualization and divine and how it plays itself out. So, yeah, thank you for all of that, Valerie.
Thank
you,
you. Thank
Valerie.
you so much. Yes, and our hair is consciousness. It's our connection. Yes. Yeah, it very much is, with up and to the right, Charlie. Justin. Yes. Thank you with all my heart.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right. We're gonna let Erica in next. Thank you, Valerie. Love you.
Thank you. Love you.
Hi,
Hi, Erica.
Hi.
So you just want to mute your YouTube video just so we don't
Oh,
get that
whoops.
playback.
And by the way, Justin, wouldn't that be amazing to hear Team Honey, Kira and Jeremiah, sing "Amazing Grace" as well?
Absolutely.
Wow, and of course, Siobhan. But what an amazing family we have, and Kira and Jeremiah are stunning, are absolutely stunning.
Truly. Yeah. All right, Erica, thanks for joining us. What question you got for us today?
I am so thrilled to be here today. I have to tell you, yesterday in the Revelation Bible study, I was glowing. I'm telling you, I was vibrating. It was glowing. For whatever reason, all of that gnosis, it's like it exploded and fanned out. And I felt like I was glowing. The chat was active. It was just beautiful. And I did grow up in church. But it was my mom's church, and there wasn't much God there. It was more about singing and whatever, but the singing was beautiful. My question for you, other than just thank you to all of you for allowing this platform. I too have been blossoming throughout this last several months. I got to do Everybody Has a Story with Lonnie. She's a beautiful lady. I've begun speaking, connected with Wanda, and we're being a healer and healing yourself. That's perfect. Yes, we all, when you raise energy and begin healing other people, you become healed as well. I have to say that that's one of the biggest draws that brought me into that realm. Was I was being healed when I laid my hands on someone. So it's a beautiful reciprocal thing that kind of leads me to what I want to talk to Charlie about. I'm glad to hear that we're going to do Genesis soon, so that I can start talking to my Bible thumping mom. About she won't hear that it's an allegory. No, the Lord says, the Lord says, the Lord says. Well, Mom, but you have to back up and understand so I just love her. At least we're both on the right side. But I'm going to be happy to get into Genesis. I've had to learn in these like exploding packets of information, a lot of scientific kind of understanding of energy and grids and fractal recursions and dodecahedrons and things of that nature that are just beyond my capacity, but now I'm speaking to, because this is so pertinent. A couple of the things that I wanted to ask had to do with the Akashic records. I do have a recipe that I use to enter my records, which mind-blowing healing right then and there. And I have gotten so much information about my past lives. Now, you said to get to the Akash, it takes the 1260 days. Now, I became pescatarian about 2.5 years ago. I became raw about 2 months ago. And this is my 3rd day of raw fruit. So, and yes, so I'm getting there. I'm going to break that and have a salad tonight, but the raw is where I'm trying to stay, because my frequency and all of this is just, maybe that was the glow up yesterday because it was all hitting at the right time. So my questions, getting back to energy and transmission and chakras and frequencies. There are more than the 7 chakras, Charlie, but you don't talk about the additional ones. And as far as the Akash, I'm able to enter using the Journey to the Heart recipe, and I didn't get the 1260 of the breath work and the clean eating and the meditation. I'm only about 2 months in on the eating, but I am about 2.5 years in on the energy, and that's when I started learning Reiki and getting into that. The other piece to this is this Tartaria stuff that's coming up right now. Tartaria. It kind of reminds me of like a steampunk kind of theme to it, but I get such a I'm drawn to that particular subject, and I wanted to know what your thoughts when we start talking about timelines and CERN. What the heck is going on in CERN? Okay, sorry, I'll stop asking the questions. Now you kind of have the vibe and can give me back the gnosis for my understanding.
You're muted, Charlie.
Thank you for all of that, Erica. And there's a lot there. I'll do my best to cover. With regard to Tartaria, Tartaria in terms of my understanding of it is sort of the modern flowering of the Aryan. So Tartaria is area, which is one's highest creation, highest form, and that's the Aryans, which is the nation that Adolf Hitler was attempting to create in Germany as well. So it's not a master race, it's a choice. Just like a Jew is one inwardly, one who seeks for God and lives by the spirit of the word of God and not by its letter. Just as circumcision is in the spirit, not in the letter. So so the Tartarians are the Aryans, and there's no other way. I mean, we can go into this for for weeks just talking about the sophistication of the pyramids. Most people don't even know just about the angles of of these rocks and the precision of the cuts in the rocks and the angles that are formed in this pyramid. It's far more than the individual could possibly even begin to realize unless you've done some study into it, because it is so complex. And we're told that we simply do not, through the hands of man, have the ability to recreate what is clearly there. And that's because it's through the hands of God. And so the Tartarians are the Aryans, and the Aryans are the master race because they are those that completed the three journeys. So the 360, the 72 or the 720, the 72, and the 1260, and those are the three nines. And three nines are 27, and the dark to light of 27 is 72. So it's the journey that we have to go on. That leads us back into what you're talking about, the Akash, and tapping into yourself and your past lives. I have not done any of that. I haven't been interested at all in my past history or anything that's revealed to me. I gladly accept. But what has been revealed by going to the crown is the totality. And so
Yeah.
through that is the crown of this gnosis through God. And so people ask all the time, from the very beginning, people just, how do you know what you know? And do you know that what you're teaching is very dangerous because you're now confronting those that don't know the way with these higher truths, and then when they know better, they have to do better, and if they don't do better, there are going to be damning consequences to them, and you need to really stop in what you're doing. And I said, no, this is the time for the great revelation is now, and we have to, at some point, we have to reveal the totality of this. And so that's been my charge, to go up to the crown and to release the totality of the wholeness of this truth. And so very simply and quickly, what I can say, Erica, is that as you, because it has to be done this way, as you clean yourself, because you have to become a crystal. You're a crystalline structure, and that's what the pineal gland has to become. It becomes a diamond-shaped crystal. And this is what the spiritualist community describe as the fifth dimension, and becoming a five.
Yes, yes.
structure.
Okay.
It's the same thing, but it's the activation of the pineal gland, which goes from a vast desert wasteland into a crystalline diamond, which, by the way, is the pyramid, because underneath the pyramid is the replication, but in the mother. So it would be in the mother, and which is the V for vagina, which creates the womb with the father, which is the phallic above, and everything is unified, and that's the wholeness of knowing this, which is the diamond creation. And so if we all look at Erica, and behind Erica on the wall, she talked about the dodecahedron and these naturally occurring, free flowing, naturally occurring energetic shapes that are created just from resonance. So you can do this with water in and of itself. Dr. Emoto took a number of incredible imagery, photographs, video on just intention, not even anything being said or hum, but just the inner intention within your dome, of a beautiful, loving thought, and what the effect that had on water. So if you look at the what's happening in the background, you'll notice that it's flowering out the shape, and you'll also notice that they're all completely connected to one another. So as they continue to spiral out, the connection is never lost. And then if you look at the center shape, you see it's a diamond. And in the very inner core of the diamond, you'll see the fourfold nature of man. So you see the square, which is a representation of the grounded, fourfold grounded man, and that's inside the diamond. And outside of the diamond comes the full flowering of ourselves. So once again, this is a perfect allegory for what we have to do, is to connect to the mother, because the mother, Mary, is magnetic.
Getting some
Yeah,
noise.
that's me. My neighbor evidently decided right now was the time to pull out the drill and start doing something. And then I wasn't sure when I was going to be into the, so I didn't talk to them. So
It's okay.
No worries.
It's totally okay. It's all beautiful. It just adds. Just adds to the dynamic of everything. So that's a great question and a great image on your wall behind you as well. That kind of helps answer. So with the Akashic records, once again, there are a lot of people who are out there within the spiritual community, who are attempting to teach the Akashic records. But again, it's like sliced apples to oranges. We're not talking about the same playing field. And in such a short period of time, I really couldn't do it justice. But the fact of the matter is, what we need to do is rise. And to rise, you have to become lighter than air. And so this is in your breathing, this is in your food, this is in your actions like yoga. And then, of course, it's all about meditation. So the key to the Akashic records, if you think of the Akashic records as a room that is locked to the fallen man, then it requires a key. And the key for the fallen man is absolutely meditation, because the man has fallen into a rat race and is running around at 1,000 miles an hour, just like this ball earth concept that they have spewed out to us. What you need to do is take back your intention, the inner tent of the dome, and you need to go within the dome and to connect with God in stillness, in silence. And that is meditation. And through meditation, the totality of these Akashic records will open to you. So you can see meditation as the key, and it literally is to open that door. So therefore, yoga is this device that forges the key in the fire to actually manifest a physical key to physically open that door, which is the portal through the pineal, to do it. And therefore you see that your breathing is then the bellows to be able to create the fire through the yogic practices to be able to forge the key. And therefore your food is the sustenance of which the bellows raise and the fire forges into the key. And so you can't be eating a cow and expect that to be turned into a key that is going to enter into God's kingdom. It doesn't work that way. However, if you reach up to heaven and take a go man or a mango, which makes man go, then that is the sustenance that can be risen and can be forged into a metaphysical key that will open the door to your pineal. And as Jacob did, you will meet God face to face in a place called pineal, and your life will be preserved. And that's how it all works. And I hope that's everything.
Yeah, Erica, it's you're muted. I muted you for a second just because of the noise. But just want to do a quick response here because we've got a couple more people to get on. So I appreciate the brevity here. But yeah, go ahead and say
I
what
was
you
just
need
going
to.
to say the additional chakras.
Right, and of course there is a world. There is a world, and there are worlds beyond our world. But it's like the opening of the dome for our Earth. It's not going to open until such time that we
Yes,
master
Christ
ours.
conscious first.
Right, that's right. So I'm
You're
not even going to
first.
go there. And I that you'll notice with flat Earth, I haven't said anything about what's beyond our dome, or if there is anything else, or if there is what there is. I'm not going to go into those what ifs. There are so many people that have just gone into just pure speculation, and it's like you're not helping anyone. I mean, it's interesting, fascinating to think about, consider, but we need to do the work, and that's a distraction. And so this is how the cabal works, by the way. When we uncover certain amounts of truth, then they invite others to come in and lead you down the garden path, a cul-de-sac that takes you nowhere. So I don't want to go. So our auric field is the completion of
Yes,
our dome. And
yes,
the seven
yes.
chakras are what are allowing you to recognize the wholeness, totality of you, which is your auric field,
Oh,
which is the
okay.
divine golden child, which you are. And so for me, it stops there right now. And when
Okay.
we get to the point where we're practicing this and we're becoming the golden child, which is your auric self,
Hmm.
then we can start discussing all of the planes and levels and chakras that are beyond, because this is an infinite ride. As we were saying to
Okay.
Valerie, again, the
Okay.
gift of God is that you're eternal, so you can never run out of things to learn. Never, ever be your quest for knowledge can never be slaked. It is endless, and the journey is endless, and so you never want to stop. You never grow tired of any of this, because it is so brilliantly on top of one another, and it just keeps going and going and going.
Yes, yes. It keeps going. Yes. Thank
Yeah.
you.
But we've got to be
Thank
here and
you.
now and focus on what we're doing right here and now first.
Yes,
Can't
yes,
skip
yes,
the
yes,
steps.
yes, yes. Absolutely. It's made this Freak Sense family. Everybody has just been so supportive. So there's something for everybody. I'm learning that now. There's a little bit of something for everybody, and it's beautiful. And I just want to tell you how much it's appreciated. Truth. That's, who would have thought? Truth. Thank you.
Love you so much, sister. Thanks for hopping on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate you. All right. Other Erica, we're gonna go to you next. Thanks, Erica. I'm gonna take you off.
Okay.
Appreciate your patience. And yeah, if you could just go ahead and hop right into the question. I know Charlie's time is short, and we've got one more person after you. So yeah, what you got for us, Erica? We can't see you. Would love to see you, but no pressure. Can you hear us?
We'll settle for hearing you.
Yeah. Erica, you there? Oh, she's connected. There she is. There she comes.
Oh,
Hey, hey,
hi.
Erica.
Hi. I'm so excited to meet you guys. I mean, I
Yeah,
watch you all the time. I'm really nervous.
Don't
Uh,
be, don't be.
Yeah,
We're your family. We're your family. And you're in a car that has purple interior. That's the coolest freaking thing there is,
It's my favorite color.
for good reason.
Okay, yes. So my question is for all of us shy girls out here that love you guys so much. What do we do when we have a hard time reaching out to other people and we want to be with everybody? And just I had a hard childhood. I couldn't trust anybody. So
well, I would just say, quickly that, you know, you are set apart from those around you because you're not meant for this world. You're not meant for this old way of being. And so therefore you felt left out. And it's the same feeling that all of us have had. We've had this feeling of isolation, like we don't fit in, we don't belong here, because we don't. We're here to pave this new one. So don't beat yourself up for that at all. Don't judge yourself for that at all, because you are perfect. You are absolutely perfect as you are. And you know, as far as finding ways to reach out and to connect with people, you know, just keep doing this. Keep leaning into this family, because this is where the truth is. And there's truth out there that you can find, but it's very rare. But here it's everywhere. Here we're all about the truth. And the more that we can lean into that, the more that we inspire our own magnetism, and we start to attract those who are on that same path. But it does require a bit of trusting, and it requires a bit of patience too, because we have to go through this initial refining period where we have this period of isolation, so that we can be forged in the fire and come out anew, ready for this whole new earth to be upon us. So you're doing wonderfully. You're doing great. So just keep leaning into that and trust. Just trust that it's all going to work out. It's all going to be led to that space, and keep reaching out for support in this family here, because we all know what that feels like. We all know what that feels like to go through that. And everyone is so ready to embrace and to support and to help with those kind of things. Um, so, you know, there are many avenues to connect with people within this family. Just keep leaning into that. Um, and yeah, we're here for you, sister. So thank you for coming on and being vulnerable with that, because I know that takes a lot of bravery, and vulnerability is the new strength. That's what's going to be the powerhouse moving forward. So keep doing you. You got this.
thank you.
Charlie, you're muted.
Justin, that was absolutely fantastic, my friend. Thank you for sharing that beautiful grounded wisdom. And it's true, Erica. Just like so many in the family here, like when I think of Kira from San Diego, Kira, but our team Honey Kira as well. When I think of Kira, I just think of somebody who just, and I know Kira's done a really good job adjusting to the ugliness of the world out there, because she is such a dynamic creation. But it's difficult to imagine. It's the same for my precious Colleen. Colleen has always struggled with this world out there, and that's because she was never meant for it. She's just so pure. She's so of the mother. She's so caring and compassionate. She's so full of grace that the out there world just eats Colleen up and chews her out very quickly, because she just gives, she opens herself completely to everyone in every situation in the hopes of healing it. And the system just chews people like that up and spits them out. And so Jita Krishnamurti said that it is not a strength to be well adjusted to this sick world. It isn't. If you're well adjusted to this world, if you've got this thing figured out, you're diseased. You are the coronavirus. And if you've been struggling through this, and if you feel alienated and you feel so shy, diffident behind the scenes, then that's the normal. That's the normal. When you're a child of God and you're having difficulty dealing with this insanity, means that you're wired correctly and you're doing things the right way. So it is completely upside down, and this is, this is why, like Justin said, it's through this family. And this is why Colleen and I are not attempting to portray ourselves in any shape, fashion, or form as the gurus, and why we're teaching so much so fast is to allow the JCs of the world to put the weight on the expanse of their great shoulders, and to share that incredible gift of being able to share the gnosis with others. And then that's the whole idea of Freak Sense TV, is that in a relatively short period of time, it's going to be a peaceful army of truth tellers, and then it's truth vision 24/7, and everybody's got their own way of doing it, and everybody's got their own style, and everybody's got their own show, and we share it for free to the entire world, and we will change the entire world to a better ride, a far, far better ride. So at this point, I can't utter anything more than what Justin already said to you, which is that feeling as you do is perfectly normal, and staying connected to this family, because again, it's just so much bigger than Colleen and I. You just look at the dynamics of this family, and it's stunning. The giants, I see them as absolute giants of truth, and we've been meeting them. That's why I love these shows, and I love everyone to show themselves and to share themselves, because this is this incredible gift of sharing the inner beauty that this family possesses, and it just makes my day, it makes my night, it makes my world even better, connecting to this incredible frequency resonance. So we're FM radio. That's what we're probably 107.1 FM, and it's all truth all day. No commercials, commercial free, all truth all day. 107.1 FM. Cool.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you, Charlie. I appreciate it. You know, I mean, I've met a couple, I met Peggy already, and she's great.
Wow.
I
She is.
just I have a hard time speaking, and like with people, in front of people, and I mean, you guys have changed my life. I mean, you have no idea, and I wish I could speak more about it, but I get all choked up. So,
you don't need to say it. We hear you. We feel you. We got
Yeah,
you.
you.
You don't need to say it. And just to add to, I'm sure you might be aware of some different avenues to connecting with people. I'm really glad that you got in touch with Peggy. Are you gonna go to their meetup this weekend on Saturday?
yes, yes,
Fantastic. That's amazing. So we're gonna be I'm gonna be going live with y'all on that night with the bonfire. So that's gonna be fantastic.
Oh my God.
So that's gonna be a lot of, yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. And then just stay connected with the Telegram group, JC Family, and Miraculous Monday. Marie would love to have you on there. And I just sat down with Marie, Kira, and Sarah earlier, and Aaron earlier today, and we're setting up. If anyone's looked at how to book one-on-ones with me, we're setting up everyone with that option, so people can have more ways to get connected with all of us. So these are just some great avenues of staying connected with people, and then yeah, just reach out to others in the community. Everyone is hungry for the same things. They all want that deep connection, and truly, the more that we can create these connections, that's unraveling this whole conspiracy that we've been put under, because everything that organized society does is just try to disconnect us from each other, disconnect us from ourselves, and disconnect us from God. And the more that we can create those connections, the more that we are just like saying fuck you to the cabal, and going the opposite way. So let's
yeah,
keep connecting.
yeah,
And
totally.
yeah, and and speaking of saying "fuck you" to the cabal, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu was just ousted from his office. If you don't think that there's a Q team I feel sad for you because you're missing out on part of the gift of all of this, which is to be part of a community, part of a family, part of a movement that is changing the world forevermore. That a movement that is taking us back to God, back to the Divine Mother, away from the devil, and all those people out there, and they're everywhere in the truth community that ridicule anyone who thinks Trump is a good guy or that there's some plan or whatever. You're asleep. You're asleep on your feet, because the things that are happening, the things that the mistakes that Biden makes, what he says, where he is, and the things that are going on behind him are proving to, if your eyes are open, there's no way that you could possibly say that it's business as usual in the world, and that Biden has an administration and we're going through. Wow, you're asleep. And I feel very sad for those jaded, angry Philadelphia lawyer people that think they know everything and know nothing, and ridicule the fact that there is a goodly, godly group of men and women that said, I'm not taking this anymore. Enough is enough. You do this to our children, you cross the line, and I will risk everything, happily, willingly risk everything to stand up for what is right, to stand up for our children, which are right, which are perfectly right. And I'll do it again and again and again and again. And I have to do the work to stay here so that I stand on guard for thee. And I will stand on guard for everyone, so that this never, ever happens again. And I really do. I feel sad for those that are missing out, because the whole point of the Anon family, the whole point of the Freak Sense family, is to grow and to raise yourself in the divine nature of what's happening. The cabal have been taken out, and you can feel it. Kira could tell you. Kira could paint a picture for you of what it looks like, feels like, that the cabal were taken out. I know it. I don't guess at these things. I know these things because it's all energy, it's all frequency, and I wish everyone could experience what we're experiencing here. And I just want to say to everyone, thank you so much, Erica. And I just want to say to everyone, it's really time that we start to look at Justin as such a really gifted, special, and a massive pillar, and not just this community, but within the truth community. Justin very quietly and in a very short period of time has just humbly listened to just waves and waves and waves upon truth, and he's processed it his own way inside of himself. And then, is there a man that just kindly gives back without asking for anything in return, more so than Justin? And just hearing what he's planning for around a bonfire on Saturday night. I mean, this is how you heal the world, and it takes one person to do it, and then that one becomes two, and those two become four, and those four become 16, and before you know it, it's a torrent that they cannot stop. And that's the purple rain of Erica's car, and that is the purple rain of God's bliss. And you wear it like a crown when you do the work. And the work is rising in selflessness, in service to others, which is the mother. To get him, you get her. So I wanted to share that because Justin, Erica, I love you so much. Thank you for the courage to come on here. And Justin, brother, I love you so much. You're just you're ideal. And I thank you.
Thank you, Charlie. Wow, I'm so moved. Thank you, Erica. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Wow, just my
Thank
heart
you.
is so full. Heart is so full. This is the magic. This is what happens. This is what happens when we start to come together, when we start to build these connections.
Yeah.
And it only gets better. It only gets better.
It will only get better.
And I love you guys so much. You have no idea.
It just,
We
if
love you
we could
too.
hug you right now, you would be surrounded with hugs, my angel. So
Well, thanks for hopping on and stay connected. Stay connected. We're
I
we're
will.
here with you.
I will.
All
Thank you
right.
guys.
Love you, sister. Take care.
Love you too.
All right, Christy, we're coming at you next. Thank you for being
Yay.
patient. Hey, Christy.
Hi, Christy.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for
Fantastic.
having me on.
Of course. Thanks for being here.
We're very thank you.
I just wanted to say I'm also Cha-Cha. So if you know me by Cha-Cha or Christy, I know you do, Justin, but I don't know if you do Charlie. But I just
Yeah,
wanted
no,
you to know.
no, I didn't. So that is great because I love the comments posts from Cha Cha. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Well,
Yeah. So what do you got? What's the question you got for us today, sister?
um, well, I wanted to say that I worked in Hollywood, and I can pretty much corroborate everything that you talk about, Charlie. It it's true. I worked there, and I saw it all. Uh, wait, I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
You can't hear us?
Now I can hear you.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
it's the delay, I guess. I don't know how to really listen.
So if you need to not listen on YouTube. If you've got YouTube playing, just make sure that is paused
Okay. Oh, it's paused. Okay.
or muted, whichever way. But
Okay. Sorry.
just make sure the sound's not coming out of YouTube and you want sound only coming out of the Zoom.
Okay. Will it work with my headphones? If I just have headphones?
Potentially, but you've got to make sure it's selected on Zoom.
I don't know how to do that.
But you can hear me okay right now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. So let's
Yeah.
just go with this. Yeah. You're
Okay.
good. We can hear you loud and clear.
So anyway, here's my question. I wanted to know, I went out to Hollywood with I had a record deal, and I have experience. I also worked on a couple of Disney shows, so I saw a bunch of stuff. And for my personal question is, can I send you my CD, Charlie, so you can, I don't know, analyze it and hear it? Just because I have always been a child of creator, and I have always done my music through prayer. It's like a prayer. Whenever I write music, it's like a prayer. Or it's, I don't know how to explain it, but it's creator working through me. So, and sometimes I don't know what my songs mean until years later. And so I use a lot of numbers in them, and they're just numbers that mean something personal to me, but I know beyond that they mean something to everyone. Because I know that music is universal, and it all comes from my heart, my soul. So that's the first question, is how do I get a CD to you? Secondly, my other question is, what is redshift, blue shift? When you guys talk about it, I don't necessarily follow. I kind of pick it up intuitively, but I'm not really sure what you mean exactly. I know there's probably many meanings to it though, but yeah, those are my questions.
Well, off air, we can provide for you. Maybe through Justin Colleen, we'll send the mailing address that we use, because we live 30 paces past the tree stump, and then that is 2.5 crosswalks past a creek, and then there's the jawbone of an ass, and so it's very complicated. So we use a mailing address in town, and then our wonderful friend Lulu brings it to us. So through Justin, Colleen will get that to Justin, and Justin will get that to you. So thank you very much, and I'd be so thrilled to be able to, and honored to be able to listen to your CD and provide you with any feedback that I can. And what was the second? Because I was blue shift, left brain, right brain. everything. So the duality of falling into the material plane, the dualistic world realm from the singularity of God above, is that we have been gifted this experience through free will of the physical plane, and it is defined by the left brain and the right brain, and it's everything. And so red shift is the left brain, blue shift is the right brain. Below, so when you listen to us talk about the hermetic principle, which is, everything, it truly is, because it's the inner workings of God's creation. As above, so below. As within, so without. As with the universe, so with the soul. As within, blue shift, right brain. As above, blue shift, right brain. As with the soul, blue shift, right brain. As without, left brain, red shift. As below, red shift, left brain. And as with the universe, out there, left brain, red shift. That's how it works. And it truly is. And that's why Jesus Christ says, because the thought mechanism within us is our left brain. And that's why Jesus Christ says very seriously, take no thought for your life. Because when you do, you're dancing with the devil. And it's as simple as that. And when you stop taking thought for yourself, God will come to you and he thinks for you. And this is you as the shepherd counting and caring for your flock, which are sheep. The thoughts that come from God are the pure virgin sheep of the purity of thought from the Father. And that's why we take no thought for our life, because it comes. But it only comes when you do the work, and if you trust. You have to know that it's real. And so then this is also that leap of faith that we're talking about. This leap of faith is the knowingness that if I stop thinking for myself, God will come. And I guarantee you he will.
Yeah,
And
that's what I feel.
and just to add to that, another way to conceptualize it is it's looking at the chakras, and the red shift is the lower chakras, the carnal chakras, and within the Bible it's the Old Testament. So that's why there's so much discussion around war and sacrificing animals, because these are like our carnal desires that we have to work through. The Bible is this beautiful allegory of how to move up through the chakra system. So we've got the red shift down below, and then Jesus enters at the heart, at the green. So red and blue make green, and that's the middle. And then you keep going into the blue shift, into the higher realms. And so that's what creates that Bible, that the two bowls, the two circles, that makes the figure eight, the torus field. So there are several ways to conceptualize it, but it is that path that we're supposed to be on, to leave the physical and go into the etheric.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that helps a lot, because it was, I would hear it and I would kind of intuitively get it. I knew, but I was like, why is it red and why is it blue? And I guess I intuited that red was having to do with blood and the sacrifice and all that stuff. But I wasn't sure why blue. Yeah. I just like blue though. So
the blue skies, because heaven is in the sky, which it is, and it's heavenly blue, and that's why President Kennedy and Jackie liked to wear Tiffany blue. Tiffany, if you do the etymology of Tiffany literally means a gift from God. So this is significant. So when you dig into the soil, it's red soil with red rocks, and that it is the home of toiling in the muck, and it's where the blood of our children are spilt is into the earth. And so what we want to do is rise, and you rise to the blue sky.
Awesome. Thank you. Also, I do want to be a part of Freak Sense TV because I have a lot to contribute. I want to be of service more to people, and I have a lot of knowledge, and I want to help children be able to express themselves through music, help them find their voice. And it's something that I've always wanted to do, but all the degrees and whatnot that are required is ridiculous. But maybe now with the new world we're building, I'll be able to do stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to it.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. And you know that offering, which is burnt, by the way, is wonderful because there's very few things that we can do better than helping our children find their true, authentic voice.
So
So
true.
very beautiful.
Yep. Thank you so much. I really appreciate just the formation of this family, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. I don't really have family anymore. Everyone's passed on, or else they're abusive. So I'm not with that. But I really appreciate you guys from my heart. You really changed my life. I haven't eaten meat since October. I'm feeling better physically. And mentally, I'm more clear. I have more energy. I didn't know we were supposed to eat meat. I was trained the way everybody else was. But I'm so glad that you guys, I knew I was missing a piece and I just didn't know what it was. And I kept searching and I kept praying and meditating, and not meditating isn't enough, but trying. And now I can actually do it. And it was so long before I could even get thoughts out of my mind, but now I can actually find the peace. And it's been through all this COVID stuff and a breakup with a life partner and all this stuff, and just knowing everything that's going on in Hollywood. I was really nervous until I realized that Trump was who he is, and the Q team was there. I had no idea. I just saw the dark side because I lived there, and it was an escape. It was just terrible. But we'll talk about that other times. But anyway, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys and the whole family. I love you all so much.
Absolutely incredible. Thank you. Wow. It's so beautiful to hear. Yeah, by healing ourselves, we heal the world. So keep doing it.
Yep,
Doing it.
I will.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, and don't fear retribution from Hollywood because it doesn't exist. It is long gone. Those
Yeah, I
long-
know. I'm aware it's dead. Like, I still have a friend who's still stuck there because you have to escape it. You really
Yeah.
have to escape, literally. And she's still stuck there. And I have been providing a place for her to come to, and she's still having a hard time. It's terrible, but it is dead. There's nothing going on there. It's like kaput.
And any of the good people that were in Hollywood, they are working 24/7, 365, and these actors are wearing mask after mask after mask, playing role after role after role. And that's why these certain characters only surface in the media ever so often because they don't have the time to have them. So it's so funny because if you just pay attention to it, you can just see that these people are nowhere for the longest time, and then they pop up for a moment and then they disappear again. And that's because there's just not enough of these actors to portray them. So it's very, very funny what's going on right now in many ways.
It is.
A fitting tribute to the debauchery that called itself Hollywood.
Yep.
And remember
I'm glad it's over.
that was Ayn Rand's first job when she came to America. Ayn Rand worked as an executive's assistant within the office. I think she started typing, but because of her incredible mind, she rose up very, very quickly. And she observed this entire truth of America, and she just said, "Oh my God, it's nothing like we were told. It's fake. It's all completely fake." And then she wrote The Fountainhead, and then she wrote Atlas Shrugged, and those two books changed millions of people's lives because she told the truth.
Yep. Brilliant books. Yeah.
Oh my, wow,
Yep.
staggering.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for being here, Christy. We love you so
Thank you.
much.
I love you
Appreciate
too.
you.
Appreciate all of you so much. Thanks much for having me.
Of course. Love you, sister. Take care.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for staying on a little bit longer than we anticipated, Charlie. But that's everyone that had scheduled prior, and we'll refine this as we go along. But that was a beautiful show today. This was incredible to just, wow. I'm just blown away every single time I get to connect with members of this family.
I know.
Um,
That's why I love your Telegram. Your Telegram chats are amazing because it's this family and it's the right way. It's the right way of doing things. We're doing things the right way, and it'll all come together. However, it's meant to come together. It'll all come together because it is. It's right. And again, I just want to thank you so much, Justin. And it's always my pleasure, just like you said, because it's just an enjoyment. And the more that we get to meet, it just gets better and better and better. And when you meet everyone today, just like the last time I think we were on, we got to meet Peggy, and then that is just such a gift. And then meeting Valerie for the first time, seeing Valerie face to face, and Colleen and I just loved Valerie for the last year and a half and stuff. And then, it's wow. It's I just see it as a gift. It's an absolute gift. And then, I don't know if everyone knows, but Sarah, Canadian Sarah. From British Columbia. Sarah is down with us now, and I just got to meet Sarah at the little party we had at the family's house, and it just is such a joy, such a pleasure. And Sarah's such a beautiful, wise soul, and part of our family. It was just an amazing, again, to have Marie and Danny and everybody here, and Kira and Jeremiah. I mean, it's a complete honor because you're all so very, very, very special. So, and when we see your names in the chat, Justin and I, we just, like JC Razel, when we see your names in the chat, we just fall in love with your wisdom. Lisa Cry, Freedom, so much, Ichabod, of course, and just so much wisdom. So when you have the courage to be able to take that a step further and then come on these shows live, it's a real gift to us. It really is. We appreciate it, and I think it's a gift for everyone else because it further fleshes out the wholeness of this incredible family. And it's in my name and name alone, and it's all about the wholeness of our spirit, our combined spirit, our souls that are on this similar journey, that are choosing to unite. And this is unity consciousness, and that really is the heart and soul of what I see with Justin, what I see with, for example, with Colleen, what I see with Kira, is this unity consciousness. And that's the great gift, is that each of us has the strength and the wisdom. Barb and Brent, love them so much. And as all of us have the strength to share our journey with one another, and that's the unity. And this is the sacred sex, and there's just an infinite number of things to teach, to learn. And like Justin said, wow, when this whole ride turns that corner, there's just a never ending supply of things to teach, to master, to practice, to know. And it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Your life is going to just get better and better and better and better and better. So thank you for sharing your beautiful selves. Love you.
Truly, yeah, thank you. Wow. Just some just some quick announcements. So tonight you're in for a treat. Kira and Jeremiah are going to be hosting a music ceremony, where they're going to be just doing what they do, and it is just absolutely incredible. Charlie, you and Colleen are welcome to come over. I know it's after dark, so that might not be possible, but you can absolutely listen in live. That's going to be at 8:30 p.m. And yeah, it's going to be magical. We did some testing last night to make sure everything sounded and looked good. And I believe that's going to be a regular series where we're going to do this every Friday, and they're going to offer that to the community on my channel. So that's going to be perfect. Really excited for that. Yeah, and then Saturday, as I mentioned, Peggy is hosting a get-together up in the Great Lakes area, and at some point she's going to get back to me as far as when, I don't know when exactly, but sometime after dark, in Central Time, we're going to be going live when they're all around the campfire, and I'll probably be touching base with everyone here, whoever wants to chime in. So we'll just be having a group to group, little convening, which should be a lot of fun too. So stay tuned for that. And then what else? We got Miraculous Monday on Marie's channel, which is always fantastic. And then nothing Tuesday, I don't think. I'll probably I'm gonna set a oh, and then for y'all who loved having Tony on this show, I just spoke with her last night. We got another series coming up where it's just going to
Oh,
be me and Tony every week for just an hour, but we're going to have it every week, and we're going to be answering Q&A, having Q&As just around health, so we can just really share Tony's wisdom on everything in that regard. And so on that note, if and I'll yeah, on that note, if you have any health related questions, if you want to go ahead and start emailing me those questions to understandingtruth@gmail.com. We're gonna have that show structured to where it's just gonna be questions submitted prior to, and then maybe we'll take some from the chat as well. But if you have any health related questions, just go ahead and email those to me at understandingtruth@gmail.com, and that's gonna be fantastic. It'll be Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central. So that's going to be great because there's never enough that we can talk about health. Yeah, so that's going to be wonderful. Thursday, oh yeah, Thursday, we've got 72 breaths with Wanda. So that's going to be another series starting up. We're going to have that every week where Wanda's going to be leading us in 72 breaths. And so we'll be probably doing that in her Telegram group, but I'll be broadcasting that live to YouTube. So if you want to get onto the Telegram group, I know she's got a link in it in the in my Telegram group, JC Family, and so you can just ask for it there, and so I'm sure somebody will point you in the right direction, or you can just follow along on YouTube. But that's going to be incredible as well. And then Friday we'll be back to doing this again. So we're going to do this every week in the same sort of format. But yeah, so a lot of great things coming up. Charlie's kind of winding down on the show load to give him more time to write the books, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm only ramping up. So here we go. Yeah, yeah, it's all amazing. You got any last things, Charlie, before we wrap up today?
that's it. It's such an honor, pleasure. Thank you so much. That's why I love doing this. I love doing these shows more than any other because it's just connecting to the family, which is so special. So thanks, Justin. Thanks to everyone, and I just encourage everyone to have the courage to do this. Come on the show, and because it's a gift. You're gifting yourself, and that's a real treasure. You are a real treasure. You're a child of God.
Yep, the link to join on the queue. We've got a really long queue to get through. So if you're just now signing up, just be patient because we've got to get through everyone who's already signed up. But if you would like to be on these Q&A shows, there's a link to join that in the show notes. So please sign up and we'll get you on when we can. But yeah, I love y'all so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the support that you show each other. Thank you for all the love that you share. We love you so much. Truly, truly, truly. All right. Until next time. Bye guys. Bye Charlie. Love you.